and I'm very proud on behalf of Philip and on behalf of the Foundation for Zen, but I would just say my good friend and everybody's good friend, the great Warren Beatty.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Thank you for putting on your trousers. Thank you, Bruce, for wearing a necktie and making me feel less like a Republican. Or for that matter, a DLC Democrat, which I'm not. Yeah, thank you. I feel I want to mention Kathleen and Ben and Isabel and Ella, my children, but particularly I want to apologize to Annette because I had no idea our anniversary until tonight was on Rupert Murdoch's birthday. No, I knew the anniversary, yeah, but not on Rupert's birthday. No, that's, I'm. So, John, listen to me. You are a credit to your genetics. You are the living embodiment of the counterproductivity of term limits in the state of California. It is an honor to receive this award named for such a formidable figure as Phil. From his brother, who is legendary in his own time as a champion of the people. And I want to point out to you that in saying that, I have not made use of a single expletive. Harvey, Jamie, you guys, Doug, your organization does fine work. Fine work. And I want to accept this as an indication of your respect for my profession and for people who can attract some attention, who aren't running for office, and who do their homework and speak out and try to help clarify public dialogue, whether they are to the left or to the right. You know, I don't know, Ed, Mike, I don't know if you've noticed how many actors who actually run for public office turn out to be right-wingers. I could give you my theory on that, but I don't want to take your time for that. But it has something to do with what I think is the general incompatibility of art and politics, and this is just something that has always driven me kind of nuts, and it's just irritated the hell out of me. Well, we have Sheila, the magnificent Sheila, who did navigate that change from acting into public office. I don't know if you realize that Sheila and I did Dobie Gillis together in 1959. And I cannot tell you how proud I am of what you do in Sacramento, and I also want to say that I know that together we can refute these tawdry tabloid rumors of our continuing affair. But I think, don't worry, Sheila. Annette knows everything. She's a liberal, you know? And her parents, I might add, are very good, solid San Diego Republicans, and don't think that that subject doesn't come up around the house. And Annette just said she's going to take the Greenwald video. We have 5 of them, by the way, Bob. And she's going to send this one to her mother and father. And I think it's not a bad idea. But look, I really have a weakness for actors. Take Begley, for instance, who we almost didn't take. Apart from being a great comedic actor and a great dramatic actor, if I want to know something about the environment, the first person I'm going to call is Ed, because I think he knows about as much about that as anybody in the United States. And Ed he's not in public office, but he is a public servant. Or Mike Farrell, who is also not in public office. These are real public servants, really public men, and I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them because they're actors. I'm proud of them. Now, I'll tell you something. If you took, let's say, George Murphy, or Ronald Reagan, or Sonny Bono, or Arnold Schwarzenegger, all of these people, I disagreed with pretty much everything they said politically, but there was something about them. It's some strange part of me. You've probably felt this. I don't know. Well, maybe you haven't, but who is sort of rooting for them to acquit themselves well because they're your fellow actors and you like them personally, and so I don't know. I have to tell you that Arnold, for instance, was always very flattering to me when he came into the movies from whatever that was, and he said that. He said in his interviews that he wanted to do what Clint Eastwood did and what I did, and that's all you got to say to me. And if in case you're wondering whether I want to do what he did, don't make any mistake. I do not want to run for governor. I am not nearly as generous with my time as Arnold is. I'm just as vain. I'm just as full of myself, but I don't think I can bench press what Arnold can. The fact is, I do think I am as good an actor. Thank you. No, Arnold's a good actor. I'm not really. I'm less familiar with his work as a director, or as a writer or a producer. But let me tell you this: I have been active in American politics one hell of a lot longer than he has, and I'd like to help him. I don't see anything wrong with him wanting to be the president of the United States. Don't the parents of every Austrian boy and girl want their son or daughter to be president of the United States? That's fine. It's perfectly fine to want to be the president of the United States. But I do think that to yield to the reactionary right-wing agenda in order to get a political party to become president with, I'm not so fine with that. And it makes me, it makes me sad for Arnold, because I think we've gotten to the point now where we have to define what a Schwarzenegger Republican is. Huh? Let me tell you what a Schwarzenegger Republican is. A Schwarzenegger Republican is a Bush Republican who calls himself a Schwarzenegger Republican. And with Arnold calling Democrats, stooges and girly men and losers and all of this general disrespect and bullying of really honest legislators who've also been willing to make the sacrifices necessary to go into public service, with a lot less fanfare, I might add, than the governor. I think it should be pointed out that they've all been elected by something called the people, and that is in what is called a representative democracy, and it has checks and balances. So let me just say something else. As a person who has never been generous enough to put his name on the ballot, but does have the freedom to say what he thinks, and might be heard because he's an actor or an artist, or, as the right wing would like to trivialize, a celebrity. It's this. I'd like to be rooting for Arnold, but he has to do something. California is a state whose debt has gone from $18.5 billion under Gray Davis to more than $31 billion under Arnold. Arnold has to spend some of that popularity that he is so sure that he has, and lead the people that he is so sure will follow him by telling them a truth that might not be so pleasant to hear and that the Republican Party that he seeks to seduce will not like. And that truth is this, that in order to have the decent society that we've sought to construct and maintain and voted for in California, it's going to cost a lot more money. And particularly for rich people like me and Arnold. And it's called paying higher taxes. And not waiting around hoping that the economy is going to boom and pay the bills. It's called raising taxes, maybe temporarily, at least maybe up to the Reagan level or the Pete Wilson level. It's called the haves giving a little more to the have-nots. And yes, I can say it more easily because I'm not running for office. Warren Buffett can say it. And he did. And now, Alan Greenspan, of all people, can say it. And of all people, Alan Greenspan did just last week. Have we come to a time when leading the rich to the right choices for their own and everyone else's benefit has been relegated to people who just don't hold executive office? Nobody likes taxes, but everybody likes a peaceful, compassionate, law-abiding, productive, protective society. Nobody likes to pay the money till they realize that it's going to make their lives a lot richer for it. Particularly rich people like me and Arnold, and the elite that seem to surround us, and the rich inside California and the rich outside California, who in their honest, well-meaning, entrepreneurial, free enterprising, gambling naivete seem to go almost unknowingly to dismantle the New Deal, the Fair Deal, the New Frontier, the Great Society, all of the protections, the entitlements, the rights, and the guarantees that make all of us safe. The right wing outside California is willing to spend big money on what they think they can accomplish here inside California with pro-business initiatives. They hope that those pro-business initiatives will reverberate back across the country where they do business and have the same effect that Proposition 13 did. Arnold's advisor, Warren Buffett, who, well, let's face it, he knows something about money. The first thing that Warren Buffett said is, something must be done about revising Proposition 13. As you remember, Arnold told him to do 500 push-ups or sit-ups, and don't talk about it in public again. Buffett didn't talk about it again, and neither did Arnold. That may be $4 or $5 billion that should be coming into the state each year. I want to know what has happened to conservatives. I don't get it. Are conservatives unable to lead a conservative president, a conservative Congress, and a conservative governor to understand the importance of fiscal responsibility? Conservatives? What is happening? And then on top of that, to understand that fiscal responsibility has to be combined with social responsibility. The people really aren't against taxes with good leadership. They're against being chumps. They can see the value and the safety in a we society as opposed to a me society, particularly the rich. The rich are very interested in safety. The only taxes that the governor has suggested raising are somehow called fees and tuitions that had been provided by the state in programs for people who need help and can least afford to pay them. And now those programs, the governor wants terminated. At long last, Mr. Terminator, do you want to terminate our decency? Arnold, be the action hero that I know you can be. Be strong. Stand up and confront the wealthiest 1% of Californians who have benefited $12 billion each year from just the Bush tax cuts alone. Arnold, business is not going to leave California. There are too many benefits to being here. If you're looking for something to terminate, why don't you terminate your dinners with the lobbyists of Wall Street and K Street? Terminate those dinners with those brokers. Terminate the collecting of out-of-state right-wing money. Terminate this totally unnecessary $70 million special election that you want to hold in order to divert the public's attention away from the real problem, the budget. Postpone your pursuit of the presidency and the Republican nomination for the presidency because a constitutional amendment is going to take some time. And someday, you don't know, at some time, as the sun rises, there's every possibility that the Republican Party could return to the party of Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt and Eisenhower and Earl Warren and John McCain, and you should start making yourself welcome in it. Confront the powerful, not the nurses. Not the teachers, not the children, or the students, or the elderly, or the sick, or the cops, or the firemen, or the blind. These are not, as you call them, the special interests. These are people that common decency demands us to be especially interested in. You know, a few days ago you said something about all this fundraising, which you've now done. I think you've raised, I know you've raised more than twice as much as you ridiculed and attacked Gray Davis for raising. And you said, well, all of this fundraising was okay because you have plenty of money. And you didn't need it for yourself. And that it was really only for the promotion of these initiatives. Well, Arnold, we know that you weren't raising the money for yourself. We understand that you were only raising it to become more popular in today's Republican Party. So, I'd like to be rooting for you. So I'll say it again. Spend some of that popularity. Do the right thing. Do the right thing, because after dining out at all of those rich and powerful fundraising dinners, who knows, some stooge or girly man or loser may just, you know, pop out of nowhere and just eat you for lunch. So thank you. Thank you for this. Good night.